Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Hampton location, and today I'm very excited to share with you this 2017 ALPINA B6. This ALPINA is currently showing just over 54,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior of the ALPINA, as well as showing you some of the many interesting and unique features on this vehicle. Now, I'm super excited to show you this vehicle. I've always had a kind of obsession with ALPINAs, and especially the B6, because this chassis of 6 Series has always been one of my all-time favorite BMWs, and I'll give you a lot of reasons why that is today as we make our way around the car. First thing to notice is here on the exterior. This paint is absolutely stunning. It's a gorgeous metallic silver finish. This vehicle, before it even came in, was fully ceramic coated, and I myself do a lot of the detailing here at AlphaCars, and having washed the vehicle, the water beads up beautifully. The coating is clearly still in fantastic shape, and you can see just the reflective quality on the paint is pretty unbelievable. This car is truly stunning inside and out. But as usual, either way, I'll take you really close to the panel so as to look for any dings, dents, scratches, or irregularities in the way the light reflects off the panel. And as you can see, with that gorgeous sheen on the paint, absolutely nothing to be worried about here on the driver's side, and we'll go over on the passenger side in a moment. But a few of the features here in the exterior, of course, you'll see that gorgeous large sunroof just above your head, and some more of that silver paint just behind it. You can see it's all in gorgeous shape. You see some of the unique ALPINA features here at the rear, which we'll cover closer in a moment, but you see that gorgeous wing, very subtle, but adds a small bit of flair to the rear end of the car. And of course, that gorgeous diffuser with those quad exhaust tips. But naturally, the first thing your eyes will be drawn to are those absolutely gorgeous ALPINA 20-inch wheels. This is ALPINA's kind of their cherry on top of all of their models. You'll always find these incredible wheels, always a consistent design with ALPINA, and of course they just add such a unique look to the exterior of the vehicle. Now, it goes without saying, these wheels are in just stunning condition, and you can see those nice bright blue brake calipers just behind, and those rear brake rotors are very large, so of course it's no surprise that the fronts are absolutely massive. Again, another wheel in absolutely gorgeous condition. I'll try to get you on the side here so you can get a sense of how deep the actual outer portion of the wheel goes. It's just incredible and adds so much to the exterior kind of flair here on the ALPINA. Now, of course, looking at the front fascia, of course, it's gorgeous here at the front. Some of the styling cues on this chassis 6 Series are very unique to this model, and you won't find them in any other modern BMW. You can see those headlights, not only a gorgeous and aggressive design, but they're in perfect condition. No oxidation or discoloration there on the lenses themselves. You have a gorgeous kind of satin chrome vertical slats in the kidney grills, with those nice bright chrome surrounds, and it just leads to a gorgeous clean look, and all of those silver touches, whether we're talking in the headlights or the grille, they match those wheels so nicely, and of course some of the other small bits of trim like you see on the fender there. Now, another ALPINA special are their front lips, and they always wear that gorgeous ALPINA badge backed with some carbon fiber with those machined metal ALPINA lettering. Just looks stunning all the way across. You can see the front lip is undamaged, really nice shape as you would expect. And next up, we'll make our way here to the passenger side. It's largely the same story. You can see another wheel here in absolutely perfect condition. I forgot to mention on the other side here, those carbon fiber mirror caps. That's a nice touch. And we'll go real close to the panel yet again, looking for dings, dents, scratches. But of course, as you can see, like we saw on the driver's side, that paint finish is absolutely stunning all the way here to the rear. Lastly, one more wheel here at the back in perfect shape. A couple of things I forgot to mention before, that nice subtle B6 badge there on your piano black A-pillar, wearing that dark chrome finish. And this takes us to the rear of the vehicle. Now, as I mentioned before, that gorgeous spoiler carrying across the lip of the trunk all looks fantastic. You do have your ALPINA B6 badging here. The only ties to BMW as far as the badges go are those main roundels on the trunk and the hood. However, you know, the ALPINA B6 is worn proudly here at the rear of the vehicle. Now, as I mentioned prior, you do have that gorgeous diffuser panel with those quad exhaust tips showing a little bit of wear, but you can excuse that when you hear the sound they make and how much it adds to the vehicle. But just, of course, an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous styling here on the exterior. I really think this is one of the most attractive modern BMWs, but I mostly say that because of the interior, which we'll check out now. You can see those pillarless doors opening up. Always nice to have no large pillars, so when you roll that window down, it's just a standalone door panel. But look at that interior. It's in amazing shape. You can see the materials used even on the door panel here with that gorgeous double-stitched contrasted leather. And those gorgeous Bang & Olufsen speaker grills there that add more silver, like we talked about here on the exterior. And before we make our way inside, as we pass over these ALPINA kind of door sill covers here, you see the seats are in amazing condition. Now, one thing I love about these seats, and really if you haven't experienced a seat with this feature, I highly recommend you do, because it really changes the way you look at seat comfort. Utilizing the controls here, you can see those left and right switches on the backrest adjustment, and as I move those, you can see the upper portion of the backrest actually can cup the upper portion of your back. So you can have that seat reclined a bit further, but then the upper portion of the seat supporting your upper back, it just provides an unbelievable level of comfort here. But we'll close these doors, and as I'll show you really quick, they are soft close. So the door, if you don't quite close it all the way, it will make up the difference for you. And we'll waste no time in getting it started up using that start-stop button on the dash. Fires up with a powerful growl from underneath the hood there, makes an amazing sound. Now, another ALPINA special are the blue gauges, and they have their own specific font that they use for all the numbers and lettering as well. Just looks gorgeous here, and it matches the stitching on the upper portion of the steering wheel. If you see any flickering, that's only due to the camera's effect. Everything in here functions exactly as it should. You'll see when I change lenses, that goes back to normal, so just be aware of that. But checking out the steering wheel, of course you have your ALPINA badging there right in the center, and another one of their signature moves is that contrasted green and blue stitching. It's all in perfect shape around the entire interior where you do find it. Of course, as I mentioned, that door panel is made of gorgeous materials, but that same fit and finish carries onto the dashboard. Every single thing you see or touch in this interior is made of gorgeous materials. You see that nice cowl over the gauges in a nice padded leather. You do have that same material carrying all the way across the dash, and that Bang & Olufsen tweeter that rises out of the dash when you start the vehicle. I forgot to show you that, but you'll see it before we're done here. And looking all the way across this gorgeous padded leather, carrying all the way down here into the center console, this is a truly underrated interior, because BMW and ALPINA really went all out to make sure the materials were just second to none here in the ALPINA. Now, of course, more of a condition side, looking at the buttons, all of these switches are in great condition. And you might be thinking, well, I really wouldn't mind having some paddles. And you can see we don't really have paddles, but what we do have are these up and down gear selector buttons. It's actually a nice padded leather wrapped button there on the back of the steering wheel, and it accomplishes exactly the same thing as a gear selector paddle. However, it has a slightly more refined look and feel to it. That's kind of a unique thing that I personally have not seen in other vehicles of this class. Now, looking here down the center, of course, that gorgeous piano black trim that matches well with the subtle screens you have for your climate control. And as you might have noticed a moment ago, you have that subtle white ALPINA badging there just hiding out in the corner. All of your climate controls are in perfect condition, and they all function exactly as they should. You also have heated and cooled seats for both front occupants, and both of these seats are actually massaging as well, and that is controlled down here next to my leg. So I do have massaging seats, and they feel great. Helps you relax going down the road in this gorgeous car. Now, infotainment real quick, I'll switch to my other camera lens so you can see that flickering will subside a bit. And we're gonna put it in reverse. You can see some great high definition camera as you would expect. That's nothing too surprising. You also have your navigation system fitted as well. But my main just huge brag about this system in the car is that Bang & Olufsen sound system we mentioned a moment ago. It just sounds unbelievable. I really do think I've been in a lot of cars. I think this is top 3 or maybe even top 2 stereos that I've ever experienced myself in a car. And you know how much that adds to the driving experience. Not that it's needed because of what we'll go check out in a moment. But of course here, right in the center console, again, more of that gorgeous piano black, all in great condition. You have your gear selector trimmed in some nice dark chrome. Just under this cover, you can see a couple of cup holders and a power outlet, and this cover does latch and has no issues with the springs like you'll see on some examples. Here you have your typical iDrive controller, but it is finished on the top in that nice kind of mirrored chrome look, which adds sort of an elegant feel. Even your ashtray, if you were to choose to use it, is matched with that same gorgeous leather material, and that door has no issues operating either, though I can guarantee that was never used in this car. It still smells like new leather. Looking up above my head, we do have a fully suede headliner across the roof here, and of course that sunroof opens up with one-touch operation. I can open up that cover without any problems and then close it just as easily. You can see it slides right into place as you would expect, and that suede gives it a really nice look. Now, just near there, you'll also notice that ALPINA B6 Grand Coupe badge, especially from ALPINA, marking this is a genuine ALPINA, and it just gives it, again, one of the more unique touch from the good folks at ALPINA. And lastly here, just to my right, you have that nice dual opening center console portion where they open right up and close right down, latching into place, and some more of that gorgeous material that we've seen elsewhere. The very last thing I'll show you here, and hopefully it comes through on the camera, is that heads-up display. Again, I apologize, it is flickering, but that is only due to my camera. Here to the human eye, it's working perfectly steady, and just some of this LED technology tends to get a bit weird when you put a camera in front of it. Anyway, next up, we'll make our way up underneath the hood, where we can take a look at the incredible powertrain that adds a real layer of something special to this ALPINA. I'll meet you there. All right, so now we're up here under the hood of the ALPINA B6, and this engine is absolutely unbelievable, and I'll go into some of the details in just a moment. But first, let's look at the condition here under the hood. You'll find all of the plastic panels have that nice deep shine to them that you would expect. All of the painted panels look just the same. Hardware is free of any corrosion or damage. It looks really nice here under the hood. And of course, that engine cover with the ALPINA badge matching the steering wheel and the ALPINA script there on the side. It all presents very nicely, but really what you want to hear about is what's the deal with this engine, and is it different than a comparable 6 Series? Now, if you were comparing this ALPINA B6 to a regular 6 Series, the only natural comparison would be with the M6. This is in that similar price range. When new, this vehicle was around $130,000 in 2017, but thanks to depreciation, we get to enjoy these vehicles for much less nowadays. But because of that, they put the best engine they could. So it is a different powertrain than the same year M6. However, this ALPINA B6 is actually the fastest and most powerful M6 or 6 Series variant that BMW ever provided. Now, this is the 4.4 liter bi-turbocharged V8 that you'd find in, say, a 650i or a comparable vehicle. But with this powertrain, they reworked the hot side of the turbo, they gave it some different cooling, they gave it some different intercoolers, and they reworked the ECU. And thanks to some of these changes, this engine outputs 600 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. Now that's when compared to the M6, which many regard as a very quick vehicle. The M6 non-competition is around 540 horsepower, and the competition is 600 horsepower, just like the ALPINA. But the M6 competition only carries around 520 or so pound-feet of torque. And that extra torque is a massive advantage to the ALPINA. And not only that, but the M6 is fitted with a clunky, truly sport-oriented dual-clutch gearbox that around town and under regular usage can become very annoying. However, it shines under full throttle when you're hunting for speed tickets. However, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, so it's obviously more usable. But it also is fitted with the ZF 8-speed gearbox, so you have a very smooth torque converter transmission, and that also means that with all four wheels driven, this vehicle will reach 60 miles an hour in under 4 seconds. I believe the figure is around 3.8 seconds, which is just an incredible figure for a vehicle that, let's be honest, isn't the lightest car on the market. So this is an incredible way to get into something faster than an M6, and the top speed ungoverned is around 200 miles an hour. But this is a nice way to get into something like an M6, but still have all of the ultra comfortable features that you would want from something like a 550 or a 640i of a similar year. But anyway, enough about the engine, and we'll make our way here to the second row of seating. Now, looking at the door panels, identically spec'd to the front, you have that same gorgeous leather with the dual stitching, and of course, as you can see here, these sun screens that actually rise up out of the window. And I know in a lot of cars on the market, these are manually operated. However, in the Alpina, they are fully automatic using this panel that we'll explore in a moment. And looking across, the rear seats are in amazing condition, and they almost have a bucket seat feel to them. You're really held in well in the back. Now, I have my seat set up as if I'm sitting behind myself driving, and I'm about 6'4", and 6'4" behind a 6'4" person. You can see I do have legroom, and I'm sitting comfortably. I'm not posturing to make this better. I do have legroom. I could ride comfortably in this. I'm a little tight on headroom, but again, very tall occupant, so that's something I'm relatively used to. Now, again, we have those gorgeous Bang & Olufsen speaker grills in the door, and with one touch, I can operate my sunshade here, and you can see it neatly folds away. I can also operate the one on the passenger side of the vehicle, and I have another sunscreen just behind my head, which can be operated from that same control panel. So it's really nice to have all of these options here as a second row occupant, and I can raise both of these simultaneously. And anyway, taking a look here, I also have my own climate controls and dual heated seats. So being a second row passenger, you are not at all missing or lacking any comfort. However, I would be slightly jealous of those cupping backrests and the massaging seats there in the front. All right, so now making our way past the second row of seating, we're going to take a look in the trunk. Now you'll see, looking at it, there's no obvious way to open the trunk, and that's because BMW, yet again, was pretty clever with their design. All you do is you reach in, fold up that BMW logo, and the trunk will open itself right up for you. Now, taking a look, you have a very deep trunk. It's super spacious back here. Certainly plenty of room for any regular items you may need to haul around in the back. Of course, though, you also have those rear seats that do fold down in a 60-40 split. Not sure they fold flat, but they do fold open, giving you all that much more space to work with. So it's a very impressive trunk in a vehicle of this stature. And though you can lock the vehicle with that button, you do have to manually close the trunk down, and it is soft close like every other door on the vehicle. But it's rare to come across a vehicle with so many different traits that it does so well. You have amazing performance, you have engaging driving, you have a comfortable experience, and just something that's a marvel to look at in general. It's really a special vehicle, and I certainly feel that way. We all do here at AlphaCars, and we hope you do as well. But if you have any further questions, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you'll find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.